So,
It's a choice.
last time, we did a bunch of things last time. You guys did so many things last time. You guys read a scroll. That was pretty cool. There was directions telling you to head to
Oh, that's right.
Sharitha Tisa and to meet a certain person there. And then you realize that most of the scroll seems to be some sort of code requiring a cipher. There's a lot of different languages represented in that cipher. But you knew it. You recognize at least that there's some sort of coded message there. Um, you guys, as you were heading into port, got ambushed by not only dwarves but a great dragon turtle, which attacked the ship and did incredible amounts of damage. And you guys were towed into the Kothon, the harbor, by Carthian naval ships. And Dagara, the dragon, the silver dragon, after you had heard their name later on, kind of flew in and did a quick skirmish with the dragon turtle and with the dwarves and sent them all packing. You guys got to the pier, and you headed over to the nearest inn, the Silver Scale Scullery. On the way there, Azalea pickpocketed a drunk man, got quite a bit of money off of that. Um, and you guys met Scully. Danny, you are aware of who Scully is, and she knows who you are. And she, gave you some cigars and mostly a lot of just rumors flying around about the very recent dwarven attack that you literally just survived, which most of it seemed to be already incorrect information. You guys are given rooms for the night, and that night Tor had a discussion with the group, asking you guys to stay with him and fight a vampire that is in this city. Um, let's see. Yep. In the morning, Azalea is met by a certain person, a gnomish woman, who asks her to kill somebody, a person by the name of Kalen Unger. You guys go shopping after that. The ironmongery, you don't know when you're going to get your weapons back there, Tor, but you left your faux shard there. You sold
Lots
off
of
your
things
scale
happen.
mail and your war flail. You bought a breastplate. You went to Herbs. Danny, you bought some formula. You sold some gunpowder and some violet fungus venom. And Herb kind of agreed, uh, maybe mostly agreed to take Danny on for some work if you guys have some time in town. Um, and you guys decided to head to the Quarrelsome Quarry to get rooms for the night up by the pit. Danny, you stay to study your formula for the evening, while the other three go down to the Shadow Mine store, mostly looking for a bag of holding, which they do have a Type 1 bag of holding, but you guys don't quite have the coin for it yet, so just kind of hold out there. And you do buy some wooden stakes and some garlic, I believe. But you guys decide to stay in the graves overnight, mostly because Azalea's
To find a
looking.
dead person, which
Yeah,
is
there's
totally normal.
some. Yeah, dead people live in graveyards, and yeah, okay.
Right?
Um, you guys watch somebody come in and head into a tomb. Uh, you guys had kind of agreed just to survey and gather info, and Tor's definition of surveillance and info gathering is slightly different than Cyra's. Um, but after some time, he left, heading south over the wall, or at least toward the old city wall. There was both a man and a bat. The man disappeared quickly. Um, Azalea marked the bat just in case. Um, let's see. Yep, you guys actually break into the Quickthorn tomb, Quickthorn family tomb, and most of the left side of the wall is covered. There's a lot of dead people in here, but it's still only maybe about a third of the available spots for dead people. Let's see. Yep, you guys have a pretty quick, tense conversation. Azalea just kind of stomps out, and Cyra has some words for Tor, and you guys head out together. Tor, you kind of trail behind a little bit to give them some space. You head back to the Quarrelsome Quarry for the evening. Danny, you stay behind and you ask about some rumors, and there's not too much really of particular interest to you right off the bat. Um, Mostly just the gentleman who owns the place is a hobgoblin, and he didn't really have much that he thought you would find interesting anyway. So at this point, it's the evening. I know, Danny, you had gone to bed. Azalea, you'd gone straight to your room. Tor, you had done so as well. And Cyra, you were kind of trying to debate what you wanted to do, whether to go to your room or peel off for the evening. Um, so, Cyra, as you're the only one that's awake at this point, what did you want to do?
I am going to go to my room, but I'm gonna pack up my little rucksack. I'll sleep tonight, but I do expect to stay at someplace else tomorrow.
Okay. Uh, all right. So, you all guys go to sleep. You pass through the night, and it is the morning of the 25th of Ofton Road. Now it's fall, right? You guys are a little bit further north than you were, so it's not terribly cold. There is the sun, which is very nice. You guys, your rooms all have windows, but they're like little slit windows for like arrows. Um, this place is a veritable fortress, and the sunlight does come through though, even if it is a little bit weak. Um, but yeah, so it's morning time. Those of you that need to take their hour to prepare their spells or whatnot can do so. And then yeah, what do you? Those of you who don't need to prepare things, what do you guys want to do? I guess that would really be Tor and Azalea. So
Just go down and get some breakfast on an empty table.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good with just kind of not doing a lot in the morning. Gotta figure out the game plan.
Okay. Druknar, the hobgoblin, is downstairs, and he's cooking up something. It smells pretty good, and he very busy down here this time of morning. You note that there's some guardsmen down here, but for the most part, it's just seems to be regular workers. Probably people that work in or around the pit. And yeah, he's Druknar doesn't really say anything to you all. He just kind of nods to you and delivers some food to all of you. Well, to the two of you, I suppose. It's mostly bread. Looks like he's got some bacon there for you. Some sort of eggs. Not sure what kind of eggs, but eggs nonetheless. So, do you guys want to talk about anything, or do you just want to eat and just wait for the others?
Eating. Wait.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna be talking.
It's kind of
I'm
a
good.
weird breakfast.
It's been a weird night, so it's gonna be a weird morning.
As Danny, you awakened quite refreshed. You had a nice long sleep. Cyra, you're a little tired, but you both are pretty much out of your rooms at the same time in the morning.
Good
I'm gonna
morning,
go.
Danny.
Yeah, hungry. Oh yeah, feel great.
Oh, good. And I'll walk downstairs. I've got my little bag packed with me.
Okay.
Little bag.
I've got my backpack packed. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm looking at
Okay.
your screen on the side. That's not how this works. Sorry.
No, it's cool. That's why. Yeah, that's why I try to keep disc. Anyway, whatever.
I feel yeah.
Yeah. So
did we settle up with Druknar last night? Or do I need to pay him this morning?
you guys had already paid for this evening, and it seems like this morning's breakfast was included.
Is
in
included?
that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. But if you wanted to stay longer, then yeah, you'd have to pay. But yeah. So you two come down the stairs and you spot Azalea and Tor at just kind of a side table, quietly finishing their breakfast at this point.
Okay.
But Druknar spots both of you and he kind of nods and is hurrying about doing, the whole business of feeding people. There's a lot of people in here, so.
I'll go sit at the table. Does he bring food to us or should I grab it?
No, he's
Okay,
on his
cool.
way.
Yeah, I'll go sit as well.
Good morning, Tor. Good morning, Azalea.
Morning. This breakfast is okay.
So, what are we doing today? Or what did you do last night?
Disagreed sharply on what words meant.
That sounds boring.
And I have to apologize. I realize I misunderstood the nature of our arrangement. I don't think we agree on this particular assignment, but once the captain's ready to depart, please let me know. I'll be at the Silver Scaled Scullery until then.
Oh, so like you're just gonna go away? You guys are having a tiff, little lovers quarrel? No, not. I'm sorry. Just saying.
Yes, I misunderstood. I thought that we were friends, and I realize now we are associates. That was inappropriate of me. I'll be heading to the Silver Scaled Scullery, and I will try to avoid creating any other issues.
Well,
Then I'm going to eat my breakfast.
just to help you out, when you're there, just tell Scully you're my friend at least. Like, you don't tell you're an associate. Tell you're my friend.
Right.
Okay.
I'll keep that in mind.
Well, that sounds like a interesting course of action. Yes, we disagreed, but I'm not smart on this whole dragging thing. I bonk things, and I could deeply use everybody's help here to accomplish my mission. Friendship is built over time, yes. So we may not be complete friends yet, but hopefully that's something we can build.
Sarah's like, first off, how dare you talk to me?
Yeah, it's like, it's a nice thought.
Okay. You guys kind of sit in a little bit of a tense silence
Yeah.
for a couple of minutes, just kind of looking at each other, then looking at your food, and then just looking like at the corners of the room, just like not making eye contact. You guys, Danny and Sarah, you finish your breakfasts. You guys recall that you would have been either found or told this morning if you go find Captain Brine Grinder when the ship repairs will be completed. Your best bet would probably go down to the Kothon to the harbor to go find him or one of his associates, maybe Muri.
So I intend to do that first thing.
Okay, is anybody going with Cyra? Or at least in the same direction?
Look like I want company, if anyone's curious.
Nope. Hey, so I might, if anybody wants, I might go to we'll split the group for a minute, and I'll go to the Temple of Stringer. Like, I know somebody, and she might have answers for us if we have questions. God, this is awkward.
That sounds like
On
a
my
good
list,
idea.
I do think we should look into the shared assignment.
We're talking about going to hell, right? Like that's.
Yes, the thing we all agree we are going to do.
Yep. I'm willing to go see if she knows any who can help. A friend. Yeah.
That sounds
Yes.
charming and unfamiliar.
Oof.
So, Siri, you're going to the Kothon right now?
Yes,
Or you...
I will
Oh,
meet with
okay.
Captain Brine Grinder and move on.
Okay. Yeah. So
okay.
I'll get up and start making my way to the door.
Okay. I will also depart.
With you.
Okay.
I'll get up and go with Danny.
Azalea, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go find someplace that looks busy, do my best to look inconspicuous, and try to find that guy I'm supposed to murder.
I mean, I
Totally
suppose that's
normal
fair.
thing that people do.
And we don't know that she's trying to do that, right?
That is correct. She has not.
We have no idea.
She has not told anybody
It
about
didn't
that.
come up. Of all the things that came up from last night, my assignment to murder was not one of them. So
That is correct.
So we don't notice her. I mean, do I notice her like not coming with us?
Ma-
Like as me and Tor walk out, is she like going somewhere else?
Yeah,
Is
I
she
mean,
trying to sneak away?
I mean,
I mean,
even
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to blend in when I get there, but in terms of like sneaking away from you guys, I'm not making it a point to be like, ooh. Well,
Okay.
You're not going to vanish.
so
that out of
you'll
the
you'll
picture.
notice.
You're
No,
not
I'm just
coming to the.
very- Yeah, I'm very noticeably moving somewhere else. I also don't believe in gods at all. Like they don't exist to me. So
Okay.
I'm not going to go to the temple because I believe in temples.
All right. Interesting. Cool.
You don't think unicorns exist? I don't think God exists. Like
Yeah.
we're fine.
Oh yeah, no, I was yeah.
He means as Danny watching you walk away into the beyond. Yeah.
So Azalea, as she walks away.
Yeah.
Hey, are you looking to get in trouble? Like, are you? What are you? I mean, I don't care where you're going. I'm just saying, where are you going?
Am I still in earshot?
Yeah,
I assume,
yeah. You
I
haven't
assume
you haven't
were
quite
storming
broken.
away.
You're like storming away, but you haven't quite
I'm going to
broken
pause for this because
earshot
this
yet.
is interesting.
I'm gonna people watch. Maybe more.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna get in trouble because I'm good.
So don't watch the guards too close because they're not nice. I don't know. They may not like you. Just a guess. Just
Yep. Get it.
And if you see a guy with a clockwork hand, just be careful in dealing. He's a cool guy. He just just does things. He acquires things, sort of. Yeah, whatever. Just saying, look out for a guy with a clockwork hand. He's okay.
I keep a straight face, but I am intensely interested in the man with the clockwork hand.
Okay.
I now have more questions, but I'm gonna go.
Okay.
We'll see you later.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I wasn't okay. What time are we supposed to be out? Are we all getting back here at a certain time? What's happening?
No.
I guess we'll meet you this evening at like the Kothon if y'all are still friends or acquaintances.
We do have to get the info on when the ship leaves.
I'll find somewhere to sleep tonight. Sounds good. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I feel like we might never see her again, Tor.
Well, I can think of a couple places she might end up if that's the case.
Hell, where we're already going.
You can go straight to hell.
Good. I plan on it.
I know where Sarah wants Tor to go. So
Yep.
No, I have to go there, and so I don't have any desire for you to be there with me.
If she winds up in prison, I'm not going there.
yeah. Well,
I'm not going back.
I know a couple of people. Maybe we could get her back, but I'm not busting her out otherwise. That's a lot of guards to have to take on, and they're pretty well armed here.
I love that everyone's assuming I'm instantly gonna fail. Like it's just surveillance. But okay.
Just dice rolls. That's okay.
Yeah, super skilled dice rolls. Good luck.
Yeah. It's not
Ask,
RNG. It's not skill on RNG or anything. It's just
Nope.
dice rolls. Sorry.
Ask our esteemed GM about natural ones.
They're my favorite. I had many the other day, but just gonna
That's right.
skip past that, and so
We're not talking about that anymore.
So Cyra, you're heading towards the Brilliant Barrel, the ship that
Yes.
brought you in. Danny and Tor, are you guys following? Or you're just heading in that
No, they're
general
going
direction?
to Stranger.
Oh, you're going to
Yeah.
Smenger. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to the temple.
So,
Stranger.
okay, we'll go with Cyra first, and then we'll hit you two, and then we'll go with Azalea last. So Cyra, you make your way through the crush of people, and
I'm absolutely crying as I walk to the Kothon.
Are you hiding it, or are you just like
Trying.
openly weeping? Like, okay.
Nope, I don't really want strangers to talk to me, but I am so sad.
There are a couple people giving you some weird looks, but you can't even really see them through your
No.
tears. As you kind of like stumble into people and between people's legs and under carts to get to the Kothon, and it's a long
Can
walk.
kobolds cry?
Wait, what?
Kobolds
Do
can
they
cry.
have tear ducts? Can they cry?
Yes.
Oh, that's so fascinating.
Kobolds can cry.
Okay, that's a good question, though. I didn't think about that. I only thought about sweating earlier. Okay.
For dramatization purposes, kobolds can cry.
For
This
flavor.
one specific kobold can cry.
These are
For
crocodile
flavor.
tears.
Okay, here we are. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's all those teeth. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah. So you get down to the Kothon like by midday. It's really hard to get anywhere in your current state of
Yeah.
mind. But you eventually make your way down there. I'm going to roll a thing for you. Okay.
I'm going to stop before I think anyone from the Brilliant Barrel sees me. And I'm going to try to pull myself together before I talk to them.
Okay. Make a will save.
Suspicious?
You're
All right.
you're having a bad time.
Having a bad... Sorry. Having a bad time. Having a bad time. 14?
Yeah, okay. So you're able
Ooh.
to
Oh, hi.
you're just barely able to kind of like wipe your eyes, and you think you're out of the way, and you kind of harden your heart a little bit, just in time for rather than sadness, for panic to set in as somebody grabs you by the collar and like physically picks you up, and it's Captain Brian Grinder. He's just
Oh.
in the crowd. He just walks by, grabs you, and is like holds you up. Huh. And he kind of like uses you to like almost like a flashlight or something, like to survey the crowd. And you're like, where's the rest of them? You're all
They're
by
not here
yourself.
right now.
Right. Then he kind of puts you down. So you can relay to your friends then. 3 weeks. It's going to take 3 weeks to do these repairs. We are a priority ship. Otherwise, it would have taken a couple of months. So, good luck. 3 weeks. Don't die. We'll be here.
Can we stay on the ship while it's being repaired?
No. No.
Okay.
No, not even the sailors are staying on the ship.
All right. 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today, we shall return for an update.
I will be on the
Hopefully
ship.
complete.
I will be on the ship. So if you need me, of course, I will be there, and Muri will be around. But if we're not on the ship, then we're at the Merchant Guild headquarters. And he points to it. It's just a large, fairly ornate, like blue, black, and copper-looking building. Many, many windows. It's very tall. Not very wide.
Okay.
A lot of these buildings are like crammed in together here on the Kothon. Very like Dutch. Everything's kind of like really skinny but really tall. That's okay.
sorry.
Some people
Okay.
know what that means. It's okay.
Okay. Cultured people know what that means. I'll look it up later.
But yes. He says, "Well, good luck. Don't die." And he just kind of puts you down. He just starts walking
Okay.
away.
And I just scamper off to the Silver Skilled Scullery.
Okay. Yeah, you head in. It's about lunchtime now. And you see it's fairly crowded in here with mostly dock workers. You can see Scully in there, and she is talking to a number of. You realize they're just appear to be Sailors Guild, like a human and an Undine man. They're both kind of maybe trying to negotiate prices, and she's just not having it.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. There's nothing like untoward in here. Like it's mostly just a normal group of people. You can see that she has her hair like braided and it's kind of like coiled over the top of her head like a crown almost. And it's kind of like falling apart a little bit, and she's clearly frazzled. Just she's very busy, and it looks like she's maybe understaffed today. Is
When
there
she has a moment, I'll wait, and I just want to get a room.
okay?
But
Yeah,
superfluous
she
things.
you can pay her 2 copper pieces for that. It'll be food and board.
Okay.
Room and board rather. Is there anything while you're here? 'Cause
In this building?
in this building, or just in general, but specific in the building start, is there anything you wanted
Yeah.
to do other than drop your stuff off?
No, then I want to go to the, I think it's the Merchants Guild where I can send a letter home.
Okay. Yeah. So you drop
So-
your things off, and by mid-afternoon, you make it over to the Merchants Guild. Thankfully, not terribly far away. And you head into this again. It's just again the kind of the same half timber style, very similar to the Ashlands, but this one's at least painted. It's the midnight blue and the copper and but the colors of the Merchants Guild. And you can see the flags of the Black Lotus everywhere. And stepping inside, it is gorgeous. You can tell that this is money here. There are some rather superfluous, like marble columns in here that really don't need to be here, but like they look great. It's clearly
For
a
the
sign of
aesthetic.
metal. It's for the aesthetic. Like the floor is also marble, but it's like a black marble with kind of streaks of white through it. You can see that there are a number of what appear to be tellers, like bank tellers, kind of standing just behind some like bars, like some bar desks. And yeah, there's plenty of people in here. Mostly appear to be more of the wealthy sort of merchants. Not really any like regular sailors or regular crewmen or dock workers. These people all seem to be very well dressed. Lots of them are wearing like silk that's probably imported. They have all these kind of fancy colors and jewelry and whatnot. And you see that most of these folks are wearing kind of midnight blue robes with like copper trim, as the workers are anyway. And yeah, there's somebody that's just kind of there's an open lane, and you head over there. And you see there's a dwarven man sitting on a probably very tall stool, and he kind of leans over and he looks down at you. He says, can I help you?"
To wire money home to my family?
"Ah, yes,
in
of course.
Laconia?
Um,
I say wire. Is there a word I should use?
just send. It's
Send, okay.
The best way for that, I think."
Okay.
Very well. How much are you looking to send?
I was looking to send 10 gold pieces.
Okay, and you hear him moving some stuff behind the desk. You hear what sounds like the clicking of like an abacus. He says, "Well, that distance from here to be a 1 gold and 3 silver transaction fee. You do understand that we do have to pay our couriers and
Yes.
whatnot. Very well.
Nothing in life is free.
You're a good businesswoman, I'm sure. Please, is there anything else you're sending?
Just that.
Very well. May I have a name?"
It's from Amal.
Okay. He's kind of scribbling some notes, and he takes the coin and he kind of puts it in a. You just hear the clinking of coins. He's probably writing a note, and he's probably just going to send that note along somewhere. To which family? Is that the family name as well, or
No, that's my name.
well, to which
And then I'll
family?
give him family name.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and he takes it and he takes it down. He says, "Very well. Is there anything else I can help you with today?"
No, thank you.
"Well, thank you for stopping by the Merchants Guild. If you have any other business in the city, we'll be here to help."
Of course, thank you. And I'll leave.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Um,
reconcile my monies real quick.
Yep. Is there anything else you wanted to do with your day?
Yes, I want to look into who I can go to. Presumably, I'm thinking some performers in the city because I want to retrain some skills. The
Okay.
retraining that we talked about.
Yep.
So I figured today will be spent scoping out where that might be. Today is a day of research for me.
Okay. I will get back to you then.
Sweet.
So back to the morning here, as Tor and Danny head to the western edge of the city, towards the Temple of Strenger. Is there anything you guys want to do on the way over there, or are you just heading straight there? You're muted, buddy. You're still muted.
This only happened
Fine.
once.
Yeah. It's okay.
He's never always muted.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to, of course, head straight there, but keep my eye out for folks that maybe like really just trying to,
With mechanical hands?
yeah, mechanical hands, guards, specifically guard captain type that I really don't like.
Okay.
Captain Borger.
Yep.
You
looking out for
created-
those people.
At this point, you guys keep your eyes out. In tours or anything you're looking for while you're walking through here?
Just general surveillance, because we're kind of up in the rough district, so
Yeah.
keep an eye out for people that could be targeting us.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing to listen for, as there's a pretty large crowd of people working and living here. And as you guys move through, Danny, you don't see anybody that you recognize. There are a few patrols of guards, but they generally ignore you. As a matter of fact, most people ignore you. And you guys kind of are just overtaking and listening in on just the ebb and flow of conversation. And after some time, you pick up what seems like whispers of maybe not you specifically being targeted, but like there might be a murderer on the loose. Somebody going around. And Danny, your ears perk up a little bit as they seem to be targeting the smaller folk. Something about finding a body. Last night, the guards found somebody kind of eviscerated down by the Kothon. And then you hear a woman at a stall talking about how that there was a dwarven man found eviscerated up here by the pits. It seems to be like the calling card of this person or thing, whatever is doing these things. But yeah, there seems to be not necessarily you in particular, but this is different than the night before. You guys hadn't heard anything in the tavern really about this. It seems to be more of a recent development.
So,
What do you think?
well, I think it sounds like there's a murderer, and he likes to kill small people, but he'll be taken care of quickly when he pisses off one of the mercantile guilds.
Yes.
They're kind of they run
Wonder if this
place.
is my quote-unquote friend I'm trying to find doing this.
Oh, who you? Well, that's your friend.
No,
This is why I don't want to be friends with him.
Yes. No, I'm alluding to the vampire that I'm hunting.
Oh, yeah, of course. Subtle notes are not lost on me.
No, of course not.
Buddy.
But good thing Cyra can take care of herself if it's going after small people in the Kothon.
Well, yeah, the Kothons, yeah. I think she can take care of herself. I hope. She'll be all right.
Yeah,
Hey,
should be.
the temple's right around the corner. Let's hurry.
Yeah, let's go.
So
She is a small person with big emotions.
Yep, so just proceed to the temple.
it's just ignore Tor.
Nope. We're good.
He's not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
He's not touching that with at least 4 serums.
You guys. There's some other things kind of swirling on the wind that you hear, but like nothing that really stands out to you at the moment. But you guys end up kind of here on the western edge of the city, and the Temple of Strenger is this kind of large, sprawling complex of stone and glass. It's really easy to see from really any point in the city, as long as the sun's up anyway. And this temple, it's walled. It's got a big wall around it, maybe 15 feet high. It's open to the public, but there are some big, heavy wooden gates you guys notice as you kind of enter, should the temple need to be kind of closed. And the first building that you guys see is, Danny, as the main worship hall. It's this kind of really long building. You realize that the pit, like the actual pit mine, was a marble mine at one point, and it seems like they used a lot of marble when they were building this place. Seems to be a theme here, as this 3-story building, very long, is made of marble, and the north and south point are actually like the ends of the building have like large towers, another 2 or 3 stories on top of them, kind of rectangular shaped. And the roof in between those two towers, kind of lower, is made of glass, pure glass, uh, making the worship hall just very reflective when the sun is out. It's like a beacon in the city. You can see the intricate carvings of ravens in flight, of like dragons, of scrolls, of books, compasses, and more tools of general academia where the stone kind of meets that glass. And you see that there's a pair of wooden doors carved of some like light yellow wood, kind of uh, at the southern end of this worship hall. There's not one in the north end, so this is like the only main way into the main worship hall. Both are currently open, and you see there's a few folk moving in and out. Danny, that kind of off to your right is the dormitories where like the clerics, specifically the scroll keeper herself and the scribes live. The temple itself was built very long ago. It is a very ancient structure, and you can tell that the dormitories are kind of almost a patchwork of old and new constructions as more and more scribes began to live there, and it's actually currently under more construction. So there's an older piece, and then there's a slightly newer piece, and there's a slightly newer piece, and now there's like scaffolding up and like horses and wagons like working, and cranes working to build new rooms for this dormitory. And it's a very simple gray stone, maybe about 2 stories tall. Yeah, and the roof is wooden, not glass, like the worship hall, and it's like swarming with workers. There are so many workers here. It has like a wrought iron fence around it. It seems to be like closed to the public. You can see some clerics moving there. But Danny, the place you care about, I mean, sure, the scroll keeper might be anywhere, but the library. The library is off to your left, and it is this gorgeous construction built with like a yellow limestone, and it's the same stone that's kind of by the shoreline. And you realize that this building is probably older than even the pit is. This is a very old building, and it's a rough oval shape. The roof has a big dome on it. It's trimmed in marble and gold, and it's built atop like a very small hill. It's a short climb over some white paving stones to actual stone doors here. One of the doors is a bright white marble, and the other is like a dark black obsidian. And you can see that there's a raven on each side of a statue of a raven on each side of the door. A black raven on the white door, and a white raven on a black door. You can see a few small skylights along the rooftop, and you can see that there's like runes etched alongside each of them. It's like very obvious even from here. You're still a few stories down, but they're fairly large runes apparently. The main entryway is currently closed, and you can see there's a cleric standing by the door. But yeah, there's kind of your rundown of this area, and who you can start looking or asking around if you want.
The main entryway to the library?
The library is closed. Yep.
Okay.
But it seems the worship hall is open.
The only person I see is the cleric to the library to the left.
Yeah, that seems to be the only one that's like not actively doing something or moving around. Yeah, that's about it. There are some other other clerics moving around. They just seem a little more busy, not really paying attention to newcomers. Either they're with somebody, or they're carrying like piles of scrolls and armfuls of tomes around, or other supplies and whatnot. But yeah, you can go either talk to this one person in front of the library, or you can head into the worship hall.
I'll look it towards oh yeah, so we're looking for somebody named Leos, Scroll Keeper Leos. She's awesome. She's a dwarf. Really cool lady, but I think this place is too fancy for us. Like, we should be quiet and respectful and they may want a tithe because they tend to do that. It's Stringer. I don't know. I'll cover us if I have to. 10 gold or something. We'll see. Anyway, I guess go ask around, see if we can find Leo's.
I'll follow your lead, and I'll try to keep quiet until we find Leos.
Okay. And then I'll go over to the cleric guarding the library door.
Yeah. So this cleric you see is like a. It's hard to tell if he's elderly or not. This man is somewhere between elderly and middle-aged. It's really weird. Looking at him one way, and like the shadows fall on his face, he looks like he's had a very, very long life. And then at the same time, when the light hits his face, he seems a lot younger. Um, you realize that this man is wearing long flowing robes, very, very simple robes, and they're just kind of like white and black, just kind of a mix. There's like patches. It almost looks like, if I could describe it, it looks like somebody had a black robe rather, and like spilled bleach on it. And looking at some of the other clerics, it might be what he did, because the rest of them have very simple black robes. Some of them are trimmed in white. But yeah, this guy looks like he may have spilled something on it. Maybe that's why he's out here guarding the door. And he says, good morning, friends. And he looks up. Maybe good morrow. We'll go with good morrow. I can't really tell what time it is. What can I do to help you?
Well, so, good sir, is the library closed?
Oh, well, the library is always open for a small fee, of course. We have to upkeep the place, you know.
And I'll look at Tor and be like, yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Nod.
He doesn't specify a price or anything. He just kind of stands there.
Oh yeah, as is tradition here. I understand, and I'll try to be fancier than I really am, trying to act, like I understand. Is Scrollkeeper Leos here? Is she around today?
And he you realize that he's fairly old, and he leans forward to look at you. And he kind of looks you up and down. He leans back and he looks up at Tor. He's pretty halfway between the two of your heights. He says, depends on what reason you need to speak with her.
Honestly, we're good friends from the past. We know each other well, I'm sort of well. But she helped. Anyway, I'm seeking knowledge. I'm seeking knowledge and assistance, and I know that she would like an update on my progress in the pursuit of knowledge, supporting Stringer, or in worship of Stringer.
And as you kind of trail off, the door is actually open, and you see this kind of gaggle of relatively rich-looking people, appear to be mainly elves, kind of walk out past you guys. And behind them is a rather stout-looking dwarven woman, wearing her robe. Half of it is white, the left half is white, and the right half is black. And she's got she actually has a raven on her shoulder, a live raven, to be clear. It's not a statue, it is not fake, it is a live one. And it kind of squawks at you in recognition. Even though, Danny, you swear you've never seen this raven before. But yes, Scrollkeeper Leos. She's got this kind of long black hair, just kind of in just a really long braid. You can see that it's got kind of in typical dwarven fashion, like large links of some probably valuable metal and gemstones in it. She seems to really like red. There's a couple of rubies in her hair. And you actually can see that she's wrapped it a little bit around, almost like a sash around her waist. She probably has very long hair. She's got just these bright blue eyes, and she's not old for a dwarf, but certainly not young, fairly middle-aged. And she says, "Oh yes, Jonathan, please leave them be. I'm very well aware of who this young one is. Danny, it is very good to see you again."
Oh, I'm so happy to see you, madam. Yeah, how have you been? And I'll give like a big toothy grin, like an ugly goblin, like attempt at a smile.
And she just a very gentle smile. You can tell that this woman has an air of strength about her. She holds herself in such a way that everybody around her clearly respects her, and not just because of her position. And the door guard, you would suppose to call this man Jonathan, kind of like he does a slight bow and he like steps out of the way. He doesn't say anything else. Um, and she smiles greatly, just very wide and very pleasant. And you realize this woman, and Danny, you would know this from experience, but Tor, you realize this woman's probably very, very, very wise, but very, very pleasant to be around. There are some older people who have had a lot of experience in the world who are just crotchety and just really shitty to be around. She is not one of those people. She says, "Oh, well, I am doing just fine, just fine. Please, come in. I will, of course, guide you in whatever you need guidance in."
I mean, do you have time to provide counsel? I've my pursuit of knowledge has been quite quite interesting, but yeah, I could use some your wisdom if you're able to share.
You see an Undine woman, kind of a light blue skin, wearing black robes, comes up behind her, and you see that she's got like a slate, and something to write, like a piece of chalk. She's, "Ariel, dear, please just scrub my appointments for the afternoon, please. I think this. I have a feeling that there's a little bit more here than meets the eye. Please come with me."
Can the old guy still see us? Or
Oh
hear
yeah,
us?
oh yeah, absolutely. You're standing in the doorway.
Okay.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, yes,
Jonathan.
Jonathan, the old guy.
Door guard.
So once we start following her, I guess we're going in, right?
Yeah,
wanna-
yep. She
I want
kind
to
of
look at Jonathan and be like, "See, we're friends." You know.
Okay. And this is her, by the way, speaking. Just kind of like, and you think for just a moment that she's speaking to you, and she's not. She's actually speaking to somebody. Her Ariel, the presumed scribe next to her, is whispering in her ear. She just kind of makes a hand motion at her, and please just let this be. We're going to. I'll take care of whatever needs taken care of when we get there. And so you guys head into the library, and the library immediately you can see that this building is still primarily comprised of this yellow limestone, and there's a large atrium in the center with like lots of desks and places to sit and non flame based lighting. There's a lot of crystals in here. Still kind of giving off the soft yellowish orange glow, but there's enough light through the skylights to kind of give you guys plenty of light to read from if you were to choose to read. And this general oval shape kind of just forms the entire building, and there's just row upon row upon row of book racks. Toward the back, you realize that there is it looks like a gated section behind like iron bars, and there's 3 stories above you of more racks, and there's some like stairs that kind of head up that way, kind of towards the sides of the building. But this is the greatest font of knowledge that either of you has ever seen. And Tor, you seem to have some flash of almost like a recognition of maybe you've been here before, but you definitely recall never having walked here ever or worked here ever while you spent your time in this city. But it's a nagging, like a deja vu almost. But yeah, there's plenty of scribes in here, people studying. There's even some more relatively common-looking folk in here. You can see there's a couple of people from the Merchants Guild, a few people from the Sailors Guild. But rather than just kind of going deep into the library, you immediately kind of take a left, and you realize that there's probably halls or offices like around the outer edge of the building. And you guys kind of disappear into a hall, and there's just some more lighting. This is a very clean place, and there are a lot of scribes here moving about, and they'll nod very respectfully to the scroll keeper. And Tor, just your knowledge is that there are only like 2 ranks inside of the organization that worships Stringer. It's scribes and then the scroll keeper. The scroll keeper is the person in charge of a group of scribes, and that's simple enough. It's really easy. And so scroll keeper Leos brings you down some winding hallways, and eventually you reach what appears to be her office, and you end up going up some stairs to get there. You realize that her office is like a 2-story office. Like, she probably lives here. She's got a little spiral staircase up to a loft that she probably lives in. She's got this large, probably oak desk, and you see the raven on her shoulder actually just kind of like when you guys enter this room flies off kind of up into the loft area. And you guys, there's a couple of chairs out in front of her desk. There's more racks of scrolls, some bookshelves. You see there's a couple of tomes on her desk. They look like they're probably in some sort of order that she understands. You guys look at it and it looks like a fucking mess to you, but best you can tell, there's some sort of order here. And she very gently sits and kind of scoots up towards the desk. Let's see. I'm gonna roll perception checks for you guys. Okay. Rutro, Spaghetti-O. That's it. You all die. Rocks fall.
Hold,
You didn't
hold
notice it
down.
was a trap the whole time.
It was a trap.
It's an illusion.
Yeah. Yeah. So you hear Danny specifically. So Tor, you're more just infatuated with all of the scrolls and all of the things that are in here. A lot of these look like ancient, and looking around, you see that there's looks to be some older artifacts, maybe like tablets, mostly of like writing that you just do not understand. You look at them and you cannot read it. They're just scribblings and markings and whatnot. But Danny, you kind of, for some reason, picked up on, you got distracted, per se, by the raven, who you watched fly up into the loft, and it kind of disappears over the railing for a second, and you kind of look away, but movement catches your eye again, and you look back up, and you see kind of like a slight swirl of like red and gold, and then nothing. And Scrollkeeper Leos just kind of sits there and, well, my friend, it has been some time. I am Scrollkeeper Leos, looking to you, Tor. Who are you?
Is she like standing or
Oh,
sitting?
she's sitting, and she kind of like offers the chairs to you guys, the other ones.
I will just say I am Tor, and I am Danny's friend, and we are in search of knowledge, and appreciate you meeting with us. And then I'll sit.
Of course. It is very nice to meet you, Tor. You are a very tall individual. But I see that all those muscles didn't necessarily take the power away from your brain, so this is most excellent. I'm certainly glad to have new folks here in the temple. So Danny, you please tell me what has happened to you in this time.
Well, so I met some friends, and we went to the Ashlands, which is a terrifying place. Vampires, werewolves. It's not good. Not good. It's kind of like the Jupiter Hell, but like on top. You know, not good. And you know, we had a friend who went to hell in a deal with a devil, and like, I don't know. I was gonna ask, have you ever heard of anybody coming back after something like that?
She immediately fascinated.
That's the beginning.
Immediately
Yeah, that's
fascinated.
the beginning.
I don't know how to like not share
Yeah.
information. Danny just spills.
Danny and Tor, both of you roll perception checks for me.
8.
13.
I'm so happy for you.
No, I'm sorry. I lied. 11.
You both notice that there is like she's not necessarily shocked, more of just taken off guard. This she kind of feels just in your previous experience, Danny. She feels like the type of woman that you could throw kind of anything at, and she'd just be like, "Yeah, okay." And she takes about a half a second to take it all in, and there's a bit of hesitation for a minute. Then she says, "Well, anybody returning from hell, not necessarily in their previous forms, no. I have heard of devils and demons that form from the souls of the wicked that return to the material plane, but not in the sense of somebody either dying or being transported there and then coming back. Now, there are old legends and tales of such things occurring. I have heard tell of a man who went to hell and well, it was for love, and he went to bring his love out of hell, and he managed it. Now, I am unsure of the truthfulness of this tale, but it's a very ancient tale. I suppose I could try to find the manuscript that it came from. Quite old, probably something from the first era, if I remember correctly. But there's no modern tales of such things occurring. No modern evidence, anyway. So you went to the Ashlands, and a friend got sent to hell, and I presume you're searching for knowledge to get this person back?
Oh, I mean, of course, of course. I mean, especially my good friend Tor here. We would, we just want to do the right thing. But I think there's a lot of opportunity here too. I mean, can you imagine the knowledge we could get out of this? Super cool. This is the best.
And she...
Sorry, that's not my motivation. I'm so sorry, Tor. I know we need to help our friend. That's what it is.
she like sits back and like looks between the two of you, just slightly concerned. A
There's
little.
much to be gained in bringing our friend back. Knowledge is one of them.
To include bringing our friend back.
Primarily to include bringing our friend back, yes.
Yes.
It's kind of my fault. It's kind of my fault he got there anyway. So I kind of feel kind of responsible. I played with a big black sphere thing. Or black and gray, and I rolled it across. I don't know. Everybody's mad at me.
So,
I think it was called the moon sphere or something like
There
that.
you go, Moonstone.
Moonstone. Yes.
I refuse to call it anything else.
she just looks between the two of you and just so concerned. Danny, my child, maybe your motivations are a bit murky. Searching for a friend, certainly, that's a good thing. But maybe going down into that deep, dark, cold place is not the most brilliant decision. You didn't get us coffee?
Yeah, what the fuck?
No, she didn't get you guys.
Ah!
I'm not even that far away.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah.
Mad at you now. She said she'll send you a virtual coffee.
I'm just down the street. Come on.
It's just going to be a message that's screaming to wake us up. Similar effect, right?
Yeah, wake
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Like a howler?
sorry.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, maybe seeking. Oh, hang on 1 second. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
I just like to say,
All right.
I just like to say
Unimmersed. I'm out of here. This is done.
wow.
All right, sorry.
I
Hey,
quit.
whatever. Unimmersed.
What is that? What is that? It's a sword.
It's my door
Yeah.
sword.
It's his door
I
sword.
love it.
That's all it's good for is closing doors.
I do support having a sword for every purpose. I currently have 0, and maybe this explains what's going wrong in my life.
Yeah,
It does.
So
It's his ass wiping sword.
that's not a good
Every
idea.
purpose.
Gets the
Every
dingleberries
purpose.
right off.
She said every purpose. Anyway, so
So,
Gets the
I did
dingleberries
say
right
I
off.
have 0, so at
so
least I don't have that one problem.
lady, scroll keeper. I digress. I know that devils and knowledge to be found there probably, always come with a cost and is bad and stuff. In fact, I had a really I don't know if I should. I had a weird dream with tentacles, and this thing was offering me knowledge, and I was like, no. So I think I could get knowledge in a good way from hell, but not be like a devil. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've already said no once. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm good.
She like leans forward and like kind of just
What?
very clearly working through some things in her mind. She says, "I'm, you know, this is very strange. Dreams are a portent of things to come, and well, there are many creatures that have tentacles specifically. I don't know what would manifest in your dreams with such a specific imagery."
No, I don't mean it had tentacles. I mean the dream was tentacles. Like everything was tentacles.
That's.
Sounds like a fetish to
I
me.
am very sorry. And I will say I have knowledge of many things, and some people are into that. But in this case, I'm
It wasn't like I didn't. I don't know. Sorry.
certain rules apply to knowledge, and some of it is damning. In the worst of cases. And Danny, I'm afraid if you head down into hell, first off, I expect you're probably not going to make it back. I know that there
Oh,
are
Danny will make it back. I've got his back.
well
This
with
guy knows.
such a
He's got
strong
special
companion.
experience.
Special experience, you say? I'm intrigued to hear the least.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tor. I don't know if you want to talk about like things that happened in the past, sort of.
She just interrupts you, Danny, puts her hands up and says, "Do not feel pressured to tell me things, Tor. Your friend is, well, he cannot keep a secret very well, I'm afraid. He does speak quite a bit. He speaks his mind, and there is nothing wrong with that, though in some circumstances it may be detrimental."
Well, you're quite wise, and I can see you're not an idiot. So you obviously know that I am not just an elf.
Yes, indeed, you are a
I've
Duskwalker. I see that.
Yes. So there's no reason to keep that secret in this meeting. Um. So yeah, I have bits. I remember things, and I am being guided by a psychocomp that works for Rashag, and have many tasks to complete for Rashag regarding the undead.
Yes, I do understand that Vrishag's role in the cycle of life and death is extremely important, and I'm certainly glad that she has representatives here on the world to continue that tradition. And generally speaking, you are only pointed toward evil things, so I'm thankful for that as well. And to aid you in whatever way we can, I will do my best. But in this case, I suppose you have more experience than I do in certain aspects of the divine realms. I am not an expert on hell at all, but I do have many tomes that I could work over the next few days or weeks to find, perhaps help you and aid you on your way to, at the very least, rescue your friend and whatever artifact you were mentioning, and perhaps I could find some literature on that artifact as well. You said it was the Moonstone?
I mean, I think so. I think that's what it was. This big moon. Oh yeah, you know what? The I look at Tor. I'm like, the werewolves. The werewolves.
Yeah.
They
Oh.
like that thing. They want that. They need it.
Moonstone.
Hey,
The only
you're
thing
not
is
you're
back.
not here. Shut up.
They need it back.
No, I'm just
I
intentionally
no it's okay.
Because I think it helps keep them regular. You know, like
Like X-Lax.
she actually laughs. Oh, that's you have always been very funny, young Danny. We will do our best. I will. And she's taking like notes, um, in like on parchment with ink. She says, we will certainly see what we can find. Are you aware of how long you have in the city?
well, not really. I mean, we could leave very soon. We've got a friend. She's a kobold. She's really. I mean, she's awesome. She's down at the Kothon trying to see if our ship's fixed and ready to go. So I would say like a couple days max. We really won't be here all that long.
Then we will do what we can with the time that we have, and more in respect for, well, your motivation, I suppose. But to be clear, this is not only going to be informative, but I hope to impart some wisdom upon you to perhaps make some Smart decisions.
Yeah, and I mean, if there's anything the temple needs, or if we could record our experiences, or I don't know anything else. I do have another question. Unrelated. It's kind of different. Are we ready? I don't know. I've got a lot of things in my head, and I'm trying
Yeah,
to sort them
clearly.
out.
Tentacles.
Tentacles.
I want to pull that copy of the altar out of my backpack that I made.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
did do
just
that.
kind of while he's talking, I just want to roll it out and see what she does.
She gets up and like heads to look more like because she actually starts clearing her desk off as you like take it out, and then realizes that like her desk is not quite large enough, and she just like makes space on the floor. You realize that you're on a very nice carpet, kind of these differing shades of like midnight and like purple and there's some like you realize that it's like a star map in carpet form. And she like kind of clears it off. And you start kind of unrolling it. And she's still listening to Danny, but she's like helping you very carefully. And she's like actually putting things on the corner so it doesn't roll back up. So Danny, you can keep going while they're
So
doing that.
is there any is there like a war? Is there something? What's we've seen Rovidarian soldiers on boats, which is kind of weird. And just armies on them. Cause it looks like armies and stuff. I don't know. Is there bad things happening in the world that we're not paying attention to?
And she continues to help Tor kind of, and she's partially distracted by looking at this rubbing here. And she says, "Well, there are some things. I won't be able to translate this. I'll need help with this. There are." There are breaks here. Sorry, one thing at a time.
Well, I can help you.
She like
Hey,
she
watch
like
this.
steps away from the scroll. Go ahead.
I do. I can help you. Watch this, and I'll take out a bottle and make a potion. I'll make a comprehension elixir,
Oh, yeah.
and say, "Here, I learned how to make this," and hold it out like a child, like, "Yeah,
That's so cute.
She like grabs it and looks at it. She's gonna. Yes, that does seem to be what you say it is. She like pops the cork and drinks it. Then she kind of. It's a little bit. She kind of hits her chest a little bit. Kind of moves her. Yeah. It's not. It's not that great, I'm afraid, young Danny. But I think it's working. Well, let me take a look. And she's looking down at this rubbing of the altar, and she now needs to go look at her notes to confirm some things. Stand by. Here we go. Okay. This is a long time ago. I got to look back at it to make sure that I have the right things here. Okay.
First DM ever.
I know, right? I'm the absolute worst.
Who
How
would
do you not
ever
remember
play
things from months
campaigns with
ago?
you?
Yep, I know. Who would have fucking thought?
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah. Okay. So, looking at this, she'll answer. She'll get to your question, Danny. You know she remembers these things. She can process so many things at once. She's very brilliant. But she's looking at the rubbing of the altar now, and she's looking at it. And, well, this seems to be. Let's see. This is mostly just imagery. I see. Some of it seems to be. Looks like it was broken. Yes. Where did you get this?
Well, this is related to that moon crystal stone thing that we were talking about. This was the altar that housed it, right, Danny? Danny, it housed it, and I don't know. It seemed important to me. Just some nagging in the back of my head, so I made an impression of it.
Didn't I get that stone out of a dude's stomach?"
Oh, maybe.
Ribcage.
It's all related. It was all at the same place. This was a fascinating archaeological dig, which I wish I had more time to explore. But floodings and devils and things of that nature kind of made it impossible.
Indeed, I suppose that something of this nature would be guarded fiercely. If it was an artifact that you then immediately lost to your friend going to hell? There's a strange set of circumstances surrounding this for certain. Now, looking at this, it appears to be there's a hunting man in the woods. He's fighting beasts, but it seems that in his dire need of dying to these appear to be wolves, perhaps. A great beast. And looking at this, it's the three oversized eyes. Well known to be the symbol of Eflair, the monstrous one. Clearly an evil deity. It seems to have turned this person. And you said it had something to do with werewolves. I agree. This seems to depict the creation of perhaps the first werewolf. Some man alone in the wilderness, overtaken by beasts, perhaps sold his soul, or mayhap the evil goddess saw another weapon that she could use in the gods' war, perhaps. This is certainly ancient. Hmm. Now let's see, and she's kind of looking at it, and her eyes kind of widen, and she says, "It appears that in these images that neither of you had really noticed this, but there might be runes here, drawn into the drawings. I, though I appreciate the comprehension potion, dear Danny, I don't believe that this is enough to maybe help me decipher these. This might be some sort of code. The letters together don't make any sense. Well, let me. Would I be able to hold on to this parchment, Tor?
You may add it to your impressive knowledge here. Just ask that if you find anything out about it, you let us know.
Of course. We will give you a copy of this. We'll ensure that you have a copy with you. We'll keep the original, if that's all right. And yes, of course, we will inform you when you come back in a few days with whatever else we have learned about this moon crystal, and perhaps a way to get out of hell. I suppose you found a way in, and just are looking for a way out. So we will get there when you come back. But to Danny, to answer your question about the world at large, there are strange happenings in the world at the moment, especially amongst the Church of Svas. The Inquisition is far-reaching now. It's occurring. Things are occurring more frequently upriver. Mostly burnings of suspected lycanthropes. I think you have come at a strange time with strange tidings of werewolves and evil. I'm not quite sure that this is a coincidence, though I do not quite understand how they tie together. And war has been raging for some time against the Nyenwa Alliance and Pseudolore. Pseudolore more willing to side with, and she very much looks at you, Danny, and you can tell that she kind of spits out the word when they side with monsters. Well, they are people, just as you are a person. And, well, some people just do not understand that prejudice can be overcome with knowledge. And yet, here we are. There's a war over it, and I would not be surprised if other nations are itching to join in the fight. And I know Sharith Aptisa has these plans to destroy these monsters and other creatures, and it would not surprise me if they were gathering their strength to join Umbaria. It may be time for them to enter the war. This has gone into a stalemate at this point. And as for the Ashlands, I don't know too much about the place other than it's filled with evil, really, and there's great magics at work there. But if you said you saw Rovridaran warships? That they're a landlocked nation. That makes no sense. Where did you see these?
Tor? That was what was that place called? It was on the shores or on the coast of the Ashlands, right? That's where we
Yeah.
from.
It was what was his name? Where were we?
It was Calcrappa.
Yeah, Calcrappa.
Yeah, we saw him in Calcrappa.
Yeah, Calcrappa. That's right. That's right, Danny.
Interesting. So they were in the Ashlands, so I presume they'd be working with the Ashlands. Perhaps those crews were on loan? Robert Eyre is famously rather neutral, beyond Draconia and the Underhall, of course. Um, if they're getting into continental affairs, there may be something more going on here, especially if the Ashlands is building up a naval fleet. This does not bode well. This is the first I hear of such things, but we will ensure that the knowledge is spread as it should be. Let's see. Yeah, Darlur is also working, perhaps, to join into the war. Sudingia is hurting fairly economically, and they're looking for money and men. Uh, but Prince Sidarlur of Darlur is apparently taking representatives of both sides. To our knowledge, he's just seeing who would be more willing to defend him against the Ashlands. And though, most folks called him a bit crazy, with your news, perhaps not so much. Yes, there's much going on in the outside world, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit that I do not know all of it, but the search for knowledge is a very rough road. Perhaps one day we will find everything, but not in my lifetime. But any help that you offer is certainly appreciated, and this news and the story of your strange journey is greatly, greatly appreciated. We will, of course, try to take care of your questions, and, of course, Tor give you a copy of this beautiful piece of artwork. Hopefully we can translate it.
That would be appreciated. Thank you.
So I haven't tithed yet. So but I will before we leave. And I don't know if that's inappropriate to say, but anyway, is there any material assistance? Like, is there anything that could help us as we go into hell?
Roll a diplomacy check.
Bam.
Fingers crossed.
Well,
That sounds good.
um, 3.
You got a hero point, my guy.
Oh, I do. Hero point.
God, I hope there's combat later. Sorry.
Oh, natural 1.
All right, I'm out. See ya. This guy's an idiot.
The temple itself, well, I don't think we'd be taking. Probably nothing we can provide, I don't think. I will say, what I can tell you is there is one that is in hell that could. I have heard stories of a guide there. I do not know their name nor their form, but they may appear to you if you descend into those dark, cold depths. I would keep your eye out and stay safe. Now, let me. And she kind of heads over to the door, and she calls out, Ariel, please, could you come in here? Get a few other scribes. We have some work to do. And she kind of opens the door fully, and kind of gesturing for you guys to leave. She says, we have much to think about and much to discuss. Please feel free to come here and ask for me. I will ensure that time is made for you. There are a few important folk in this city, but your strange, almost dire news certainly takes a priority over some things.
Does Tor know if there's a Temple of Urshag here?
There isn't really one here. There is a shrine in the graves that you could probably visit, but there's not like a full-blown temple. Vrshag
Okay.
is a rather new goddess, in the sense that maybe she existed beforehand, but nobody really knew about her. Now she's becoming more well-known, so the temples for her are fairly rare, but shrines certainly exist.
Okay.
So yeah, she kind of gestures for you to leave. Do you guys leave, or are you just gonna stand there?
I guess it's time to leave. Time to go.
I think that is our cue. Let's go, Danny.
Okay.
Is there anything else you need to do over in this area, Danny?
No, I don't think so. I think we've got some good information at least.
Yes.
And
There's so much
yeah,
shrine to knowledge here. It's amazing.
yeah. Let's try to make our way back to find our friends or acquaintances.
Okay. Well, it sounds like Clara, not Clara,
Whoa.
Azalea was going to find us potentially tomorrow. So I guess maybe we need to see what Cyra found out about the ship as best we can, I guess.
What happened? Why are you guys like not friends?
She did not approve of our methods last night. Uh, I'm just trying to get the best information I can, quickly as I can. I'm not an investigator. However, I do have a mission that I must complete, and she did not, like I said, she did not approve of those methods. So I don't know if that can be repaired or not. I'm not a smart man in that matter. I just kind of hit things, and I remember a little bit about architecture and old societies.
Well, I'm sure she'll get over it. It'll be okay.
I hope so. I just want to take out this vampire and then be done with that tasking, so we can get back to the matter at hand, which is destroying the depths of hell.
Yeah, let's kill a vampire. I'm all about it. Let's go.
Sweet. I think when we get a chance, I'd like to stop by the shrine of Rashag in the graveyard. Maybe there'll be somebody there that has better knowledge, maybe a cleric of Rashag or something like that, that has better knowledge of what's going on than I do, and potentially could help seek out these undead beings.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah,
Thanks, Danny.
anytime.
Okay, so you guys want to head over to the graves to go to the shrine, or do you want to do that later?
Do we have time to do it and then make it down to the Kothon district?
It'll be like evening by the time you get down to the Kothon. So
Then yeah, if we can get
it's
down
kind
there,
of on the way.
kinda-
It's kind of on the way.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. So you head back to the after we do the graves here, Azalea. I promise we'll get to you. There's a lot going on here. So you guys head down to the graves, and again, this is very. You recognize it because you were here last night. Actually, this morning. But yeah, it's a veritable maze of tombs and hedgerows and whatnot, but it's surrounded by a wrought iron fence, and you see the gravekeeper actively outside. It just seems to be another kind of stooped human man, very dark, weathered skin. He's wearing just kind of very simple, like brown tunic and like tan leggings, and he's just kind of like there's a lot of the leaves are starting to fall now, and so he's starting to clean it away. Like even from this morning, it's a little bit more windy, and some of the leaves are starting to come down, so he's starting to clean up already. There's a couple other people walking around, people wearing black, clearly in mourning, but the gates are open at this time rather than last time. You didn't see the shrine to Vrashag. You know it's here. It's off on kind of the eastern edge of the graves, whereas you guys were kind of more towards the center last night.
Yeah, I'll go up to the groundskeeper since I'm not really exactly sure where it's at. Excuse me, sir. I am looking for Rashag's shrine. Can you point me in the right direction?
Oh yes.
I've never been here before.
Oh, I I see. Well, he kind of looks up at you because he's kind of hunched over, and the shrine is that way, and he kind of points. It looks like he's probably had a very rough life. All of his fingers are like not even like straight anymore. It looks like they've been all broken multiple times and maybe not set properly. He's kind of almost like a claw hand, just the way that his hands got fucked up at some point. He kind of like points down. There's a little marble paving stone pathway. He says, "Oh, it's that direction. Just take a right at the old maple tree, and take a left at uh, uh, the fountain, and then you'll be there. It's hard to miss.
Thank you, good sir. And here's a little bit for your trouble. And if you see anything odd around here, please let us know. I'll be staying over in the Quarrelsome Quarry, and I'll give him a silver piece.
Roll a diplomacy check. You'll get a bonus on my end because of that coin. So, and because you're being nice.
No bonus needed in that one.
Oh, really?
Damn you! Last time I used you.
You got a hero point.
All right, I'll use it because what I just rolled was a nat 20.
Whoa! Very nice. And
Thank you, dice. The amazing nautical dice that I have that I love.
You went into the trough and then you came out on top of the wave.
Like my grandpa would say, fell into a brick shit house, came out smelling like a rose.
There you go. That's pretty funny. But he takes the coin and you're a good man, sir. I'll do what I can. And he kind of gets back to it, but he's got this really big grin. It's toothy only in the fact that he's like missing like every other tooth. So it looks a little more toothier than it should be. But yeah, he's pointed you guys in the correct direction.
All right.
It's actually by his cabin. It's kind of like behind it almost. But yeah, you guys head that way?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So the shrine it's not a very large structure. It's kind of carved out of kind of yellowish limestone. And it's a large kind of rectangular pedestal, maybe 15 by 10 feet. And it's about 4 or 5 feet tall. And on top of that is just a large statue of a cloaked woman who has a very large scythe. The blade is kind of resting down like at her feet, so that kind of the point is curved kind of upward. And there's not very many details of this, but Tor, you just got a feeling of recognition in this. And there's some offerings, like there's some like kind of steps leading up to the pedestal. And there's a little like covered part where people can leave things, and some people have like coins there, and it looks like somebody was burning incense. Maybe there's some flowers there, now mostly withered, but mostly out of the wind at this point, so they haven't blown away. But there's nobody around.
All right. Now that I kind of know where it's at better, I'll remember that. But I'll go ahead and I'll leave a what I think is an appropriate tithe. I don't know, gold piece or something.
Yeah, that's probably more than what most folks give, but I mean, you have a little bit more of a connection with her, and you know that was definitely feels appropriate to you.
And then I'll just kind of pray to her or whatever she, I normally do. So just kind of pray to Vershag to kind of give me guidance and maybe send somebody to help me to end this, vampires in a short amount of time.
So as you're kind of praying and asking for this guidance, Danny, is there something you want to be doing?
Is this like inside or outside?
It's outdoors. It's outdoors.
Outdoors?
Yep.
No, I'll stand off in the back and light a cigar.
Yeah, and as you kind of light up, and you kind of have to protect it from the wind a little bit, and kind of turn your back to it. But yeah, you kind of smoke, and you're kind of observing just everything around here, and it's quiet. Even though there's people here, this is a very large graveyard. And you've been here once or twice, mostly passing through, maybe running from certain folks. But at the moment,
All guy running
it's
from
quiet.
people weird.
But you do notice that there's the raven from the temple sitting. It actually lands just on. There's a tree next to it, a big kind of yellow and gold maple tree right now. sitting in the branches. It's just you recognize it. It's the same bird, and it's kind of eyeing you. It's not saying anything. It's not making any noise. But clearly, you're either being watched by someone or something.
So I'll look at it and be like, "Oh, hey, so bet you're a lot smarter than you look."
It stares at you, kind of blankly. It doesn't say anything.
Yep. Keep your secrets, bird, but you're pretty smart.
It like kind of clacks its beak together, kind of looking at you, kind of tilts its head. Tor is like in his own little realm, praying.
I mean, is there something? Is there something you want? I mean, I'm sure you can't really tell me, but if you just want to watch, it's fine. You just hang out. I'm not gonna say anything.
Kind of tilts its head, and kind of like hops slightly down the branch towards you as you're kind of smoking your cigar. It gets pretty close actually, because this tree is, the lowest branch is maybe at 5 foot. Tor would hit his head. But you feel like the Graveskeeper could probably get underneath it and probably can't get any higher to trim it. But yeah, he kind of stares down at you. Doesn't say anything. It got closer to you. It's just kind of staring down at you.
I'll just keep talking to it. Well, depending on how long you want to follow us and stuff, we're gonna be on a boat before too long. I don't know if that's your thing or not, but yeah.
It's just it actually goes to take wing, and it dives by your head. You can actually feel like a feather pass by your ear as he kind of swoops down and takes off. And in a very distinct voice, as it passes by, it just goes, "Fucker!" It just kind of flies away. It flaps back towards the temple. And Danny, I need you to make a perception check.
Woof. 10.
Yeah, you quickly lose sight of it beyond the tombs. It doesn't take off very high. You actually you know that some birds, while flapping their wings, make noise. This thing is silent. It just disappears.
I just mumble, bye, friend. Whatever, and turn back to smoke my cigar.
And yeah, Tor, at this point, you kind of finish up, and you get a fairly warm, very comforting feeling kind of roll over you as you kind of step away from the shrine. Yeah, you're not sure what she will send, if anything, but it feels good to be here, at least for now.
Yeah.
You guys gonna head towards the Kothon, or you want to talk
Danny,
about something?
you think we should probably go find Cyra?
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know how to patch things up with her, but if you can think of anything, let me know.
I actually am not very good at patching things up.
Me either.
I guess you could use my technique and just say whatever comes to mind and, keep talking, Seems to work for me sometimes.
Well, I think our difference in opinion is what's got us.
Maybe just bring her the head of the vampire and be like, look, see? It was bad. Maybe
An
not.
interesting gift. Maybe,
All right,
Love it. I love it. Thank you.
So you guys,
let's go find her.
I'll keep that in mind. I might do that. Might work.
See,
I
was
bonk
bad.
things.
So Azalea, we kind of reset to the morning once again as we get to you and your business. And yeah, you want to. Is there a specific place that you're headed? Are you just trying to move about the crowd? Go ahead.
I'm just trying to find what's gonna be the busy part of town, because you're gonna see more people in that part, so it makes sense to people watch there. Look for the guy in
Well, the Kothon is always extremely busy. You know that Merchants Row is probably quiet, but you'll see more of the rich folk there. Um,
Is he considered rich?
so the person that you're going after, Unger, he works for rich people.
Yeah, but like, would I find him in the rich person side of town, or like?
Nix told you that he's an accountant for them, and he works there. You know that many of the servants actually live on the estate.
Okay, so I probably would find him in the rich part.
Yep.
Cool. Won't stand out at all, but I'm gonna do my best not to. Let's go to the rich part of town.
Is he a vampire accountant?
Make a stealth check.
That's okay. That's hard. I gotta scroll over a bit. 31.
Okay. So Azalea, you head out towards Merchants Row, the rich part of the city, the center of town. And it's. Could you mute yourself while I'm describing this? Thanks. Okay. So it's feedback. I'm sorry. It's distracting. So you know that there are three bridges running east to west, and Merchants Row is built around the bridge Agrippin, and it's the very center middle bridge, and you realize that this whole place, just from memory, is the old city, the original city, and you also know west of the bridge Agrippin there's an island in the river which, as you fairly large. Now, mind you, this river is pretty fucking big. It's like a mile wide. It's gigantic. And as you kind of cross over this really large stone bridge, you look out kind of off to your west a little bit, and you see an island. And on that island is a fortress, an old fortress with some not so great memories. It is Orlum's. It's the prison in this city, and you have spent a very long time in Orlum's. And you look at it, you're just thankful to be out. And you kind of, keep.
Am I walking like by it?
You have to cross the river to get over there. So yeah,
I'm gonna spit at it.
you spit over the railing of the bridge into the river.
Bitch.
It is it is unmoved. And on this side of the city, you know that he works for the Quickthorns, which are on the southern side of the river. So you kind of cross that way, and these sprawling estates, all walled in their own way. Some of them wrought iron fences, some of them stone walls, some of them a mix of both, some of them just like wooden, like almost like palisades. It really depends on somebody's taste, really. But it is a very wide, tree-lined like boulevard, and it's quiet. It's not so smelly here. The estates are their own like cloistered little hamlets amidst a sea of piss ants. And each mansion here has multiple stories, each built kind of like offset from one another on the other side of the road, so that all of them can see the harbor. That is like the one thing that these people agreed on, was to offset their houses so they could all see the harbor. And you see there's like rich folk in carriages. There's some heavily armed guards responding in these very flashy colors. Well-dressed servants seem to be the norm here. Couriers, people that are providing stock to these rich folk. Even though it's called Merchants Row, not all of these people are necessarily merchants. They just all happen to be filthy rich. And they're all well-dressed and then, living in the newest style. The greatest and latest fashions change every single day, so none of these people look the same, really. And Azalea, you're intimately familiar with this area, and if Tor were here, Tor is also familiar with this area. Many people here are hired from within the city, but a small number of folk are born into service, living and dying in this kind of city within a city. Some of the homes are kind of painted in these very garish colors. Some of them are covered in like brilliant metal. Other ones just try to kind of outdo one another. with these kind of extreme makeups of their homes, and it's like very difficult to look at. Really, not only is it garish, but some of it literally hurts your eyes. Home itself is a really strong word. Some might be considered fortresses, even. Bless you. Safe from any potential inside or outside threat, as far as you can tell. Are you specifically going to where this Unger gentleman works, or are you just kind of wander nearby? Like, what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to be nearby. I don't want to go into it. Seems a little too risky.
Right.
So I'm just gonna hang out on the side, see if I can see where. Because if he works for them, he's probably gonna be going somewhere off property to do stuff
Okay.
eventually. So maybe I'll just hang out in the bush for a couple days until.
Bushes of love.
The bushes of love. Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna be off property looking for him.
Okay. Well, I will describe the property because you know what the property looks like. But you're going to hang out nearby the property. You just not go onto it, which is probably the smart thing. And the Quickthorn Estate is a sprawling complex on the southern side of Pluma, where you are. It's a 10-foot. It's got a 10-foot white wall, like stone wall, topped by like spikes, like painted in like emerald. It's kind of gross looking, actually. The chateau itself is made of white marble again. The pits, there's all marble. That's what everybody loves. It's marble. It's decorated with varying shades of green. The building itself carved to mimic that of a like a great like a birch tree, and you can see vines growing along the outside of the chateau, and you can see many large windows. Though it seems the most important one rests atop a spire at the center of the mansion, facing east toward the harbor. And you can hear the whinny of horses, and you can tell this place has a rather large garden, as it like smells fairly good. The scent of manure from like the horses and whatnot is thankfully overcome by like mums and pansies and dianthus and other flowers that are kind of blooming at this time of year, right toward the end of the fall. You can see that there are guards standing at front of the main gate, which haven't noticed you at all. They're wearing a lamellar armor, painted that same mint green color as the forest sprites. And you see there's a flag, a pine green flag, emblazoned with a brilliant white unicorn, flying like along the gate, like a couple of flags like that. So now that you're just kind of settled in to watch this place, what in particular are you looking for, other than your mark, your job?
Probably the comings and goings of anybody else that seems important at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know, the guy who like runs the company now or whatnot. Other important figures I might need to know later on. Keep tabs on everything, and then maybe the best way to sneak in, if there's a good way to sneak in, and out. And out, gotta have an exit strategy. If I'm gonna go in there, come out, and I gotta know how to get in there.
Okay. So you need to roll a perception check for me.
Just a 22.
Okay. That's not bad. So
Yeah, but my last roll was 31, so it's like
I bet you have a bigger bonus to stealth than perception, if I had to guess.
only by a little bit, only by 2.
Nice.
I did roll a 19 for stealth.
oh, yeah, you go. So
Anyway.
in this case, while you're waiting, you end up kind of like you blend in with some of the servants, and then you kind of walk a little bit, and you do the Homer Simpson and just like disappear into the bushes, the hedges a little bit. Nobody seems to take any particular notice of you at all. And most of the day goes by without incident. Really, nobody really goes in or out. You can see some movement in the chateau, but like you can't see it very well because of how far away you are from the actual building. The building is maybe 200 yards back from the gate. There's a good distance. You can see movement, but you can't make anything out really. Um, and
Alright, I want to go search for a spyglass and buy it.
You may need that in the future.
Next, anyway, go on.
But you spend the morning into the afternoon, toward the evening, just watching, and you actually almost fall asleep at a couple of points because it's so fucking boring. There's nothing happening. But toward the end of the day, um, the guards do a quick shift change, and as they change shifts, you hear, and you can also see, as the gates open. Looks like there's a cart, a very fancy cart, painted a disgusting mint green. Um, it's also like kind of lined in looks to be gold and silver. Even the wheels on the cart look like the spokes are meant to look like vines, and you would think that this would be very pretty, just maybe under different circumstances and different colors, maybe. Um, but it looks like it's being drawn by a team of two horses. Both the horses themselves, gorgeous, like bright snow white horses. Not unicorns in this sense, but horses nonetheless. And you can see that there's a driver, an elven man, very very pale looking elven man. Um, and you can see the sun is still up. It's setting, but the sun is still up. Um, and he's got this kind of blonde hair. It's not terribly long, long enough for a very short ponytail in the back. And he's wearing like a big fancy green tricorn hat. Um, he's wearing a nice jacket and like again green with gold buttons. He's wearing these just very very fancy silk like green pants. Um, and he seems to be a new driver. You don't recognize this man. Um, and you can't quite see who's in the cart or if there is anybody in the cart. But they actually come out the gate towards you. And you see that there are windows on the doors, but they're covered with like curtain. And it's coming towards you pretty much. It's about to exit the compound. Are you just going to watch? Is there something you want to do?
I'm gonna hide under the cart.
You're going to hide under the cart.
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, go on.
We'll move.
Bold
See how
move,
it works
Cotton.
out.
Yeah, so the cart kind of exits, and you get a slightly better look at the driver, and you realize that the driver had the only really distinguishing feature of this person, and he's got a small scar kind of up his right cheek, just very very thin, faint, like a very very old wound. But that's the only really distinguishing feature of this guy. He's got green eyes, like most other elves do. You see that he's got a whip. And he's probably, you see there's something bulky in his jacket. He's probably got something hiding in his jacket. Probably a weapon for self-defense is your guess. But you can't tell if there's anybody in the cart. And it turns north, kind of out the way you came, kind of heads that direction.
How fast is it going?
You would have to run to catch it. It's starting to pick up speed toward that speed. You would guess that they're not necessarily in a rush, but trying to get somewhere. They're trying to get somewhere. They're not just moseying.
I'll do my best to follow it without looking suspicious.
Make another stealth check for me.
Please mark the cart for death.
22. So
Okay.
I rolled a 10. So.
Okay. How does the mark for death work?
I think it has to be.
I think he means this could be the bat.
I knew it. Marked for death. I gain a +2 circumstance bonus to perception checks to seek your mark and deception checks to feint against your mark.
Oh, battery exhausted.
Womp womp. It is about
The worst.
These are dying faster and faster. I need new batteries. Okay, cool. Thank you, Marlena. That is all I needed. And actually, as this cart is leaving, we'll go ahead and take a break, so that I can get this set up. We'll take it is about an hour and 50 mark right now, so let's take a 12-minute break. Be back at 05. we were left off with Azalea, who is trying to follow this cart on foot stealthily while it is racing north.
Stealthily run after this cart like the Terminator guy.
Yeah.
All right, Wyatt.
Yeah. That's exactly what he looks like. Okay, so you get to the bridge, the Agrippa Bridge, and as soon as it kind of crosses the I mean, there's not really much of a way to go here other than north. And however, the area is so large,
There's another way you can go. You can go fuck yourself.
could go fuck yourself. It's true. But in this case, the cart ends up disappearing as the sun kind of sets. And yeah, it's not great. There's not much. You can't really see it anymore. There's no like lanterns
Did you
on
mean
it.
it goes over the bridge and is gone?
It goes over the no, like you can still see it, but as the sun sets and there's like a little bit of traffic on the road and it just goes out of sight because it goes too
I thought
far.
you meant it just
No. It does not like apparate away. No, it is not. That is not the case.
Into a bunch of bats.
Yeah. It is not quite how it is.
Okay.
But yeah, it disappears out to the north. So it's evening time now. What do you want to do?
I don't think I fucking wasted the day. Didn't fucking find shit. Man.
We have found shit
Oh man.
out in the desert.
I'm gonna sneak back to the graveyard.
Okay.
See if it's their rendezvous spot. Wait there a couple hours. If I don't feel like I see anything, then I'll head back to somewhere to sleep.
Okay. So you head over to the graves, and as you kind of climb the wall, mute yourself, Mylena.
I had my cup in my hand.
You have
Cup
two
of my
hands.
mouth.
You have two hands.
I'm not. My mouse is all the way over here in my lap. What am I gonna do? Drink? Like no.
Yes.
Just give me like a fucking
Yes.
second.
No.
God.
So, as you head towards the graves, you end up not being able to. The gates are locked. You'll have to either break in or climb over the wall to get in there. There's no. You don't see anybody around like immediate vicinity. It seems the groundskeeper is probably in his hut. You can't even see it from here, from the southern edge of the graves.
I'm gonna go climb over stealthily.
Make a stealth check and then an athletics check.
Can't do acrobatics.
No,
That's dumb.
you're not flipping over the wall.
Not with that.
What if I wanted to?
You're not.
If I go real fast. That's not right. Stealth. 28 for stealth.
Okay.
And you said athletics to get over the.
Yep.
Natural one.
Yeah, you can't even get any purchase on the wall.
A lot of ones today.
You very, very discreetly fail entirely. I'm sorry.
Managed to fall into the wall.
Face first.
Yep. Can
What do you want to do?
Try
You
again.
can try again, or you can try to unlock the gate, or like.
no,
Try
I
to
don't
find
wanna
a different
unlock
way
the gate
in?
because I don't know where the carriage is, and if the guy is a bat and he's gonna fly in there, it's not gonna matter anyway. So like, I'm just gonna climb over it again.
Go ahead and make another athletics check.
Okay, better. 21.
This time you really take a moment to study the wall, and yeah, you're able to kind of hoist yourself up and over. You are in the graves.
All right, I'm
She's
gonna go,
in the grave.
Yeah.
The files are in.
I'm gonna go sneak over to where we were last time and just kind of like hang out again, see if I see anybody. And if after a couple hours nobody shows up, I'm just gonna try to sneak out again because I don't want to waste a whole day and night.
Okay. So, at this point, we reconnect with Danny and Tor, who are at the Kothon. It's evening now. The sun has set, and you guys are searching for your erstwhile companion. Yeah, so Cyra, where are you at as the sun has set?
When I see the sun start setting, I want to start heading back to the Silver Scaled Scullery.
Okay. She had informed you too that that's where she was going to be. You guys head that way?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the Silver Scale Scullery is it's busy. There's definitely a lot going on in here. Scully is running around like her hair's on fire, just trying to give people food and drink, and there are a couple other barmaids here that are also working very hard. And there's a couple of brawls, like kind of aborted brawls that almost start and then are quickly put down. There's actually some city guard in here. Not anybody of particular importance, but it seems like they're on their time off and they don't want to deal with any shit. So pretty much quickly knocks things off. And Cyra, you kind of find a little area off by yourself. Just get some food and some ale. You've already paid for it, so not a big deal. Yeah, Danny and Tor, you guys kind of walk through the door. And Cyra, you're not like hiding or anything, are you? You just kind of, yeah, you easily spot her. She's kind of stands out, even in this this crowd of different and strange people.
Hey, there she is, Danny. I'm gonna go grab some ale, and I'll meet you guys over there.
Yeah. So, do you want to say hi? You want me to? Okay. And I just kind of move over towards Cyra.
And
Hey.
I'll go to the bar and get some ales.
Good
Okay.
evening.
Hey, friend.
Good evening, Danny.
How's the boat?
3 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a long time. I actually
That's
just
a
found that
long
out because I
time.
wasn't listening earlier.
Because you weren't here, you weren't there.
Just
That's
in
fair.
character.
I
Yeah.
wasn't there,
Yeah.
so it's in character. Like it's in character and for real. Wow, 3 weeks. Okay. So, what are we gonna do for? Well, we'll talk. We'll talk about it. We went and saw the Tipla Stringer, and yeah, and I got this weird raven person thing following me, and yeah, so it's a good time.
I think it's likely that before we go, we should probably do some research on the area. Are they amenable to that?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Tor gave him like a big like rubbing off of the like temple.
I rubbed them off.
Yep, there we go. There it is.
Big
Thanks.
rubbing off.
Yep.
Thanks. But yeah, so like the big one, the big so they're like studying it. So I think we can get more help.
Good. Research will be important.
They told us not to like make deals with devils basically, and we're like, okay, yeah, I know that, but that's fine.
Well, that sounds like a productive day.
It was good. We did stop by that graveyard where all y'all's little, I don't know, your drama came about, I think. But yeah, whatever. I was just having a good cigar. Tor was like leaving money in graveyards and stuff. That's weird, but
Tell me about the Raven.
I don't know. I saw some wispy. Here. Okay, so it's not just a normal. I don't think it's a normal raven. Like if I had to guess. But when we were at the temple, it had red and like swirly stuff around it when it went back to its cage or room or whatever, and it called me a fucker. So,
it's a smart Raven.
oh yeah, really smart. If we see it, I don't know if it's like malicious or not. I mean, I trust my friends at the Temple of Stringer, but could you never know. That raven may not be very nice. I don't know. Just keep an eye out for it. Where's Azalea?
Doing Azalea things. She hasn't stopped by, but I haven't been here.
Okay, well, hopefully she doesn't wind up in in jail. Yeah, the Orlums. You know, not a good time. Not a good
Not
time.
fun.
No.
What will y'all do with your time?
For 3 weeks. Oh, jeez. Could go work for Herb. Could try to help you guys finish whatever you guys are doing. Like, I don't know. Is there something about a vampire? I don't know. Whatever. Touchy subject.
That's not my mission.
Okay. Fair enough. I imagine we'll probably have to babysit Azalea at some point.
It'll be an interesting change of pace.
I'm good with it. Now, if we could just get Scully over here to help us out. Oh wait, Tor's gone to get the beers.
So yeah, Tor, it's a copper piece for the ales, just for you
Okay.
and Danny. And then whatever food you want to get. It seems to be some maybe chicken of some sort of fowl. You're not really sure what kind. And there's some bread and whatnot, and it's not bad. But yeah, Scully just gives you these things at the bar, just kind of like trusts you to be able to like carry all of it.
Yeah, I'll grab it and I'll bring it back and set it down in front of everybody.
Hey.
I don't know about you, Sarah, but Danny and we've walked all over the place. I'm hungry.
Yep. Hey, so because we're all friends and acquaintances here, we got 3 weeks till the ship's ready.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's the
You know,
priority timeline.
I think. I mean, I don't know what all we want to do for 3 weeks, but I'd really like to find like a bag of holding or something to help us carry stuff because we're going to run into a lot of crap in HE double place we're going.
Useful upgrade item. Probably pool our money together to get one.
Maybe other ways. I've got
Yeah, maybe
friends.
we'll find one, but
So there's another tavern, and we haven't been to it yet. And I know a guy.
okay.
I mean, you got to be amenable to or agreeable to less than above the table kind of dealings. But he's yeah, friend over there's a good guy. Ano's Tavern.
I mean,
Uh,
if it gets us what we want, then
yeah,
probably okay.
Nobody's gonna get hurt is the thing. Like he's not out to like hurt people. But Ano Longtail, he's a rat with no tail. So don't if we do go see him,
Don't
just
talk about
don't make fun of him.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I mean you can like take a peek if you want to, but that would be weird.
I'll do my best.
I'll just kind of bury my face in my ale.
So what will y'all be doing with your 3 weeks?
Well, hopefully Vershag will send some assistance to deal with this vampire and get that nasty business over with, and then move on to maybe just some jobs to earn some money so we can buy whatever we can't find.
Well, I intend to work on retraining some of my more personal skills. That will likely keep me entertained.
Well, that'd be useful. What are you going to learn?
I'd like to work on performance. I spent a lot of time in the Ashlands working on subtlety, is perhaps the politest way to put it, at the expense of my craft. So, in meta terms, I'm going to take stealth from expert back to trained, and I'm going to take performance from trained to expert because that seems more important now.
Okay, well, I thought you always played your instrument pretty well. But what do I know?
So you guys kind of awkwardly stare at each other.
Silence. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's weird.
I'll talk business. We're not gonna chat.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the weather's fine outside. It's kind of nice for this time of year.
On a more serious note, should we be worried about Azalea?
Yes.
Probably, but
Yes, we should be worried about Azalea. I've been
At
saying
At
this
this
the whole
point,
time.
she's
I apologize. Right now, should we consider
Right now, not like
right
in general.
now broadly? Yes, right
In general,
now.
yes.
well, she's gone to the Four Winds, so good luck finding her.
Mm.
I laugh at your forward.
I laugh at your forwards.
God damn it! Is this some other reference I don't know?
Yep. It's
Yep.
fine.
Fine.
Crom laughs at your forwards. Okay,
Where's
cool.
that? Where's that kick button for Slugger? Oh,
Yeah, yeah, right. Get out of here. You
Must
don't know
leave.
things.
go upgrade yourself and come back.
No.
So,
Please call me.
yeah,
No.
no.
What do you want me to call you?
You telling me a gingerbread, this man?
Ah, oof.
It's my favorite.
So, as you guys are kind of talking business and not shop, Azalea, you spend plenty of time in the graves. There's really nothing of note here. There's no cart. You don't see anybody. There's nobody breaking and entering today. Nobody going into or out of tombs.
There's no bats flying around.
Not any that appear suspicious. There are bats, but like high up and by the river more than by you.
None of the bats that I marked for death.
That you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
That's my mark. It's my mark.
It's not magic.
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh, I kind of assumed that it was. You know what? I don't know why I assumed that. It's an increase to perception, but and
Yeah.
deception.
It's a.
I'll look it up. You don't need. You don't
It's
need
a.
to
It's
spell
a.
it out,
It's
I'm
a.
sorry.
Either way, it's a bonus that I would be applying if she didn't
Yeah.
actively know who it was. And in this
Yeah.
case, there are multiple bats, but they seem to be naturally occurring, and there's a large, like groups of them that don't seem out of place. There's not a one single one, so.
Man, no solo bats. Okay, fine. I guess I'll just go to the.
No,
the
they're all high up.
Which tavern are you trying to go to?
The one that they said they were all gonna go to.
The Quarrelsome Quarry, or the
No.
Silver Scale Scullery?
Yeah, the one that we switched to.
The one that Cyra switched to.
Mira.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
assuming the others would have followed suit.
Ah, okay. In that case, you head that direction. So
I'm going
you
somewhere I know someone is,
okay?
because it's safer that way.
Okay. And at this point, it's
And
like
also switching around is probably safe too, so like makes sense.
it's really early in the morning at this point. So after the three of you finish your supper, getting on towards late evening now. Is there anything you guys want to be doing?
I didn't want to be in the graveyard all night, just a couple hours.
It's a walk.
It's
back.
like midnight
true.
or 1 a.m. when you leave,
That's true.
and then yeah, it's a couple hours to
Is
get back there.
Is there a balcony, or is there a what's the front of this establishment like? Is there someplace I can?
Yeah, there's you could probably head out. There's like a kind of a communal. It's more or less like a, not really a porch, but a street, like tables on the street sort of deal that you could probably go sit at.
Ooh.
At the street
Yeah.
level. There's no like balconies or anything like that, but yeah, you could go out if you want to do that.
You guys want to stay up and get your drink on and sit outside?
Yeah, I could do that with you, Danny.
Yeah. Maybe we'll run into Azalea if she decides to,
Good idea. Keep an eye
not
out for her.
not get arrested.
I have plans in the morning, but I do wish you luck.
Okay, we'll see you then.
I'm gonna pack my bag.
Sleep good and maybe just happy times.
Sweet dreams.
I was like, I can't wait for however he's gonna end that. Yes, I wish you both good rest as well. I don't even turn around to say that. I just keep going.
So you go up to your room.
I do.
Okay. Is there anything you wanted to do in your room?
serious.
I know.
Pardon?
It's disturbing. Yeah. Very tense.
I go to my room and cry.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Then I play my drum and I try real hard to make myself feel better.
Yeah, she went from like really happy to like really not happy.
I know. I don't like it. Need to fix it somehow.
We'll keep an eye on her. Maybe I don't know. Get her a present. What is? I don't
Did you
know.
say a pretzel?
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe she likes pretzels. But a present, jackass.
Oh, like a vampire head?
I don't know the status of that. Hey, let's get more ales.
Yeah. So, I mean, how long do you guys plan on drinking?
Pretty late. Yeah, this is gonna be. I slept real good last night, so I'm energized.
It'll probably be like a silver piece for
Okay.
enough ale to keep you going through a good chunk of the night and then toward the morning.
I'll cover that. And then when I see Scully, right? Will I see Scully?
Yeah, she'll as the kind of the night starts winding down and you two are outside. She'll bring you guys some drinks and stuff like that. She'll step outside.
Okay. And I'll tell her, hey Scully, when it slows down, you come join us.
And she kind of lays her hand on your shoulder and like, oh, of course, dear, I would love that.
I know you would, sugar.
And she just kind of like squeezes your shoulder and kind of gives you a wink and then heads back inside. So, Cyra, as you kind of try to lull yourself into some sleep, the night kind of winds on as Danny and Tor are sitting outside, kind of looking out at the Kothon, drinking.
Sorry, there was a small thing I intended to do when I first got
yes,
into the room.
please,
and
go
mention
ahead.
it.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to search it with extreme paranoia for any unexpected points of entry, anything that's not secure. I don't expect intentional malice like directed at me, but I feel very, very unsafe.
Sure,
so
go ahead and
she's
make
gonna
a perception
Please
check.
don't suck.
Yeah, it's a seek action.
Oh, hell yeah. 26.
There's the window. You're on the second floor.
Mhm.
There's the window, which is kind of it's facing like an alley. So it's you guess maybe somebody could jump across to the next building. And then there's the door that you came in. There's no other places that you can find. There's no hidden doors. There's nothing in the.
How secure does the window look?
There is a. So the shutters open outward, and there's like a metal hook that just hooks the shutters together to close the window. That's about it.
I'm going to ask Scully if I can have an internal room.
So
A room with no windows.
as you ask this, it just gets a little busy. And she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, dear, but we don't have any of those rooms. We only have rooms with windows. It's not a very large establishment. It's really just each side, and that's about all I can give you. I'm so sorry."
Okay, and then I'll head back.
If only we knew of an inn that was built like a fort.
That was in the most dangerous part of town? She's very small!
So, yeah, okay. So, Cyra, you head back in and uncomfortably try to rest for the evening, just unsettled by the last couple of days. And Danny and Tor, you guys kind of sit out there drinking and just kind of relaxing. There's a little bit of dockside activity this late at night, but for the most part, it's pretty well quieted down. It's fairly dark here, which is probably not.
You know any good drinking songs, Danny?
No songs, but I know a game. It's real popular here.
Ooh, what is it?
Take out my dagger and lay my hand out flat on the bar top or the tabletop. Say, hey, watch that. Okay. It might get hurt, but it's fun. And just real slow, like tap my knife between my fingers, playing a little 5-finger fillet. Sorry, we're gonna do this.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, the first couple of sets are fairly easy because you're not terribly drunk just yet. But as you get to drinking a little bit more, I need both of you to make fortitude saves.
There you go.
26.
Okay.
I didn't get that much, but 20.
Yeah, you guys are putting the drink away, but holding your own pretty well. If you want to keep doing five finger fillet, you can do either acrobatics or athletics.
Hey,
I'll
hey,
allow
Tor.
either of those on that one.
1 gold piece. As how you do it. Is how you do it. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's change that. How about a silver? We don't need to. We don't want to show people we have money.
What's the bet? 1 silver for what?
That I do it better than you. I don't. What else do you want?
How do we judge that you do it better than me?
Whoever gets more bloody and it goes slower. I don't know. Just make the rules up as you go. I think that's what people here do.
All right.
So yeah, make a athletics or acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
29.
Nice.
Ooh, I cannot possibly beat that. 19.
Yeah, Tor, you take to us really quickly, and you rely more on your speed with the weapon and your ability to judge where you put these things rather than any sort of finesse. Danny, you kind of, you're feeling the alcohol a little bit more, but you're not drunk yet. But, you start taking your time. The first round, it doesn't really matter. Nobody's cut themselves yet, but go ahead and go
Just
again.
imagining the scene like in Aliens.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go again.
Ooh.
29 again.
Oh
And this
my
time
gosh.
I'm gonna do that to Danny, like the alien scene. I'm just be like, here, let me help you. With both our hands overlapped.
24.
Yeah, you're picking up speed, but yeah, the terror that seeps through you guys as you're kind of going after these. Tor is having a great time, but Danny, you're like, oh fuck.
I have made a terrible
You
mistake.
both need to
Is it
make-
that feeling?
You both need to make fortitude saves again as you drink more to kind of quell the terror of maybe chopping a finger off.
Nerdy 20.
22.
Yeah, you guys are doing pretty good, and the blade keeps thunking into the table. Now, mind you, Danny, are you using your little fancy dagger for this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
There's a couple of people as they walk out drunkenly, like stare at you, like, whoa. It's just more of a blur, really, as you guys are kind of batting around here. And so as this is going on, Azalea, you kind of are making your way close to the Kothon.
Downtown.
Making your way downtown. You're walking very
Sorry, I
fast.
can't stop.
There are not very many faces passing, however, and you are definitely not homebound. So you I need you. Actually, no, I get to do this for you. That's fun. Okay. So as you are heading, you kind of like not necessarily sticking to the main streets. It's a little bit faster going through some of the alleyways. You haven't really picked up on any of the local chatter because you were more focused on, the rich folks. And as you get fairly close to the Kothon, you enter an alleyway. And what your vision is struggling to adjust to the darkness here, but something does hit your nose, and you know exactly what it is. It is the smell of blood, and it kind of like wafts over to you, and it's a lot.
I'm gonna take my time and like peer around the corner, trying to stay hidden in case like the murder is still actively going on.
Okay, make both a stealth check and a perception check for me. Stealth first.
Let's
20.
go.
Okay.
And perception is 16.
Yeah, so you kind of sidle up to a corner and you kind of like peer around, and there's not very much in the way of moonlight or anything like that. But you see kind of like two silhouettes, and you see a person, a smaller form, maybe that of like a gnome or a halfling or a humanoid anyway, being like held up, and you realize it looks kind of like somebody's holding them on like the hip and the shoulder, maybe.
We're getting feedback.
Yeah, could you mute it again for me?
Sorry, I thought I had.
So yeah, it looks almost like they're holding them by the shoulder and the hip, and then you realize that the shadow shapes are not quite right, and you realize that the lower limb of the taller person involved here, because it's clearly two people, uh, the arm looks too short, and the placement looks like it's too close to the stomach, and you realize that the second arm holding the shorter one's shoulder, it's not an arm at all. And as you get a little bit of a cloud kind of moves away from the moonlight, and you get a little bit better of a sight on it, and you realize that there is somebody, a very pale individual, has their mouth around this person's throat, and you just hear. You realize that this person's right arm is wrist deep in their stomach, like they had punched through their stomach, and just you realize that there's like guts kind of hanging out, and there's blood everywhere, and you hear like nasty kind of slurping noises. And also, interestingly enough, you recognize a very expensive white shirt, a very expensive looking black jacket, wearing some gold buttons. It's got red trim. The black pants have a gold stripe down the leg. It very much matches the description of Kalen Unger, the man that Nyx had told you to assassinate. Now seems to be draining the life force from the small person in the alleyway.
The same enemy.
I'm gonna go the long way back around to the inn and avoid detection.
And as you try to step away from the shadows,
Well,
you
nice
see
knowing
a
you.
pair of bright red eyes turn and make eye contact with you. And I need you to make a will save.
What's your next character gonna be?
I think it's her life. I think she might be like hypnotized and come kill us.
28.
You feel a very dominating will press into your mind, but you now very much aware of the danger that you're in. Push it off. But you know this creature knows you're here, and you just fucking sprint. You no pretense of hiding anymore. You take off. I need you to make an athletics check. Or an acrobatics check, one or the other.
Ooh, she finally gets to use her acrobatics.
That's right.
Right. I'm gonna use acrobatics 'cause it's better.
Don't trip on your own feet.
28. Again.
Yeah, so you
Wait, hold on. 16 plus 12. Yeah. 28.
you
You could do math.
sprint
Yeah.
and leap over. So there's like a lot of boxes and shit in these alleyways and like carts and shit, and you're just like leaping from cart to cart, box to box, just
Bimbly,
vaulting
bimbly.
vaulting over objects, all bimbly bimbly, and you quickly break away from this scene, and you look back over your shoulder, and with the greatest of ease, this person is sprinting after you, and they are just vaulting over things that like you had to kind of take a second to kind of like lift yourself over. They're just like jumping over shit. They are gaining on you. You want to keep running? Is there something you wanted to do?
I'm gonna keep running because I've got fleet, and I'm assuming that 5 extra feet's gonna come in handy later on.
Make another acrobatics check.
Okay. Well, all right. Maybe I'm dead now.
Bring us to battle. Come on.
Acrobatics.
Yep.
15. Well, I'm still heading towards the inn. I'm still trying to get there.
Yep.
It's just whether or not I make it.
And so you end up sprinting and just you cover quite a bit of ground actually, and you're kind of trying to bob and weave through these alleyways, and this creature is like, it's not on the ground anymore. It's like practically running along the walls almost, like just really catching up to you. You had like 100, 200 foot head start, and this thing is like within 20, 30 feet of you now. And I need you to make another acrobatics check as you're trying to like mibbly bibbly out of here.
Like, how far away from the inn am I? Am I like
At
still a
this
good
point,
distance?
at this point, you have no idea.
Okay, I'm just trying to.
You
get
are
away
just
from it.
trying to survive.
Okay, yeah.
The fight or flight has taken over, and the flight has won.
Mhm.
All right, I think this was a good one. I rolled an 18, so 30.
Okay, so yeah, you managed to break away. As you kind of round a quick corner, you kind of slip and slide on the cobbles. It's a very moist environment here, and you kind of like grab
Moist.
onto the side of a building, and you like push off and vault over what appears to be a couple of like maybe passed out drunks. Um, and you do your best to just move. You don't give a shit about the rest of these people, and this creature seems to not care about them either, as it practically glides around the corner, very, very gracefully. But you seem to have opened it up a little bit. But you can feel its eyes like boring into the back of your head, and you know that you have done something that few can say they have by fending off whatever influence this thing tried to push into your mind. And you need to make another acrobatics check.
This is awesome.
30 again.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you just sprint kind of out into the open, just around a corner, and you try to take a right. And as you make a right-hand turn, I need you to roll a D100 for me.
Oh shit!
Random.
getting real.
Random.
It's what? It's the percentage and then the D10 and put them together?
Correct. Yep.
$57?
Okay. So as you kind
That
of
sounds bad.
head out into the more open area, you kind of hope that
Is it
there's maybe
bad?
guards around or something. You're actually on the very edge of the Kothon, and thankfully that your internal compass has led you correctly. And Danny and Tor, you just watch as Azalea bursts out of the alleyway. And you all hear a kind of a drunken, what the fuck is that? Oh, ah! And you hear screaming. Let's see. Cyra, you are awoken by something quite loud, but you're not really sure what it is. It sounds like it's outside your window.
Is the door to the inn like open, as in like not locked?
You
Or-
see Danny and Tor sitting outside at a table.
Oh,
Choice.
Cyra is
Yeah.
nowhere to be found, but
Found
you at least see them too.
Looks like she's up to her shenanigans, Danny.
are they like elevated off the ground, or they're like?
No, they're on street level, like you.
It's on street. Okay, no. Get inside. Running.
Get
I
inside.
told you. I told you. I told you.
What is your athletics DC?
How do I calculate
It's your
that?
athletic modifier plus 10.
Athletics is +6, so 16.
Yeah. So Danny and Tor, you just as she yells to get inside, and Cyra, you also hear her voice outside because you have been awoken by the clatter of sounds like some drunk dudes screaming in the alley. You just watch as like Azalea pops around the corner, tries to make the 90-degree turn, doesn't quite make it as she yells for you all to get inside, and you just see this blur blast out of the alleyway and slam into Azalea
16's not good enough.
and knock her into the ground.
Oh, man, I was so close to it.
And we're actually going to leave today's session here.
That's
Nice.
First of all, how dare you?
I thought we were gonna get to use that initiative tracker today.
I
Ready.
almost, not quite. We're getting there soon. But there you go. There is
I'm tired.
it
Get
just,
inside. Immediately gets tackled. Oh, this
It-
doesn't bode well.
yeah. Yep. So there you go. There's the end of today's session. Next time we'll start right in on combat. So
Mortal Kombat.
now if you guys survive the combat, I also need in the intervening week for you guys to figure out what you want to do for the 3 weeks. Because we can take every day if we want to, or if you guys just want to go
every single day in
try to-
excruciating detail.
if you guys want to try to do things, then we can. We'll just go over it quickly with a couple of rolls and ask me specific questions or tell me specific things you want to do, and I will
If you could
cater those. Go ahead.
If you could just come up with a more detailed menu, I think we could do like every day, like at the end, and just come up with different meals. The
Yeah,
whole
like pork
time.
loin and
Yeah.
Just talk about
meatloaf and
talk about eating the whole time.
Okay.
For 3
Yeah.
weeks straight.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm-
But our
yeah.
next 3 sessions will be eating at the end, awkwardly silent with each other.
Okay.
yeah.
Great.
As it should be.
So are there
because I'm gonna be dead.
are there downtime rules like there are for D&D?
There are.
Like, is there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right,
So
cool.
there's downtime rules where you guys.
If only
can
you
just be
read
like,
the core rule book.
I know, right?
Too
You can
lazy.
make
I
a.
got,
For
I
example,
feel you.
Danny could make a craft alchemy check per week
For money.
to make money,
Yeah.
and that is like you spent 3 weeks making money, and you got this roll, so you make this amount of coin for those 3 weeks. And if there was something else you wanted to do in between, like I want to spend 2 weeks making money and 1 week doing research, you could do that. Or hell, if there was something more specific you wanted to do, like I don't know, break into somebody's house or something, like I guess we could do
Yeah.
that. We could do a heist if you wanted. I don't know.
Oh my
That'd
God.
be fun.
There are options.
heist.
So
I don't think Sarah would like that, but that'd be pretty fun.
It totally depends on who we're stealing from.
Mm.
But yes, there are many options. If you guys could get back to me by like Wednesday or Thursday, so I can
No.
at least prepare things for you, or we'll have to
Choice.
delay more,
You will
and
get to do
I would
nothing.
rather not do that. So yeah, there you go.